Hi guys, welcome back. So right now we are working on our desert or tundra collage. Could anyone raise their hand and tell us what a collage is? I hope that someone said a collage is when you mix different types of paper to create an image. We have carefully studied both deserts and tundras. Deserts and tundras are only two examples of different biomes. Biomes are how we describe a place based on the weather, how it looks, what grows there, and what you see. We have also carefully looked at some images, and we have looked at atmospheric perspective. Could someone raise their hand and tell us what the pattern was that we noticed when we looked at images with atmospheric perspective? I hope someone said that we noticed that it gets darker to light, and that is because of the hydrogen in the air. We have also talked about foreground, middle ground, background. Remember, background is all those things way in the back, foreground is the things right in front of you, and the middle ground is everything right in between. On the first day of this project, we got to add some galaxy techniques using our paintbrushes, and we created stars. Then we used paper and Sharpie to make it look like real hills with objects, the silhouettes. Today, we're going to take a look at something very colorful. Could someone please raise their hand and tell me what this is called? I hope that someone said Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights. This has to do with the ions in the air. Northern lights can show up in the tundra, but they also can pop up in the desert. So here's a picture from the desert in Utah. I hope that you guys brought your thinking caps because we are going to be using our color wheels yet again. Okay, so I need two people to raise their hands. I want one person to tell me the warm colors, and then I want another person to tell me the cool colors. I hope that someone said that our cool colors are basically green, blue, and purple. I hope that someone else said that the warm colors are yellow, orange, and red. Today, we are going to be using analogous colors. Everyone, please say analogous. What analogous colors are colors that are right next to each other or neighbors on the color wheel. So think of them as close friends. So here's another reminder. Analogous colors for this project will be three colors that are directly next to each other. So for instance, I have yellow, light green, and then a little bit of dark green. But it could be blue, purple, or magenta together. It could be red, orange, and yellow. It only has to be three colors that are next to each other, and it can be any three colors as long as they are neighbors. Today, we're going to be using something called chalk. So it's kind of like our oil pastels, but it's a little bit messy. Please don't purposely try to make your hands messy or show your friends. That's just weird. So I'm going to go ahead and find three colors that kind of match on the color wheel. So I'm going to look at my color wheel in the classroom, and I'm going to find three colors that are neighbors on the color wheel. These chalk pastels will be located on the middle table, so you'll have to get those on your own. Please just get three at a time and then return them once you're done. I chose green, yellow, and orange because they are all neighbors on the color wheel. So notice that green is a cool color and yellow and orange are warm colors. It doesn't have to be just warm colors or just cool colors. I want you to pick three neighbors. As long as they're neighbors on the color wheel, you can use them. Also on the middle table, you'll find this little stencil. We're gonna be using the rounded side, not the straight side. So we're gonna be using this to create our Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights, and I'll show you how. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this stencil. I'm gonna find a good spot in my sky where I want my Northern Lights, and you can do more than one, guys, and they can be different colors as long as they're analogous. I'm going to put mine right here, and then I'm going to take my yellow, and I'm going to draw lines going off the paper. So I'm holding the stencil with one hand, and then pushing my chalk pastel off the page. So if I pick this up right now, you kind of see this really hard edge line and then all these little streaks. I'm gonna keep on going. So on the other side of my yellow, I'm gonna do a neighbor color. So I'm gonna do some green. And then on the other side of yellow, I'm gonna do the other neighbor color. That would be orange. Oop. So try your best to hold your stencil down like I'm doing right now. And then once I lift the stencil off, you'll see kind of this, doesn't really look like a whole lot of anything. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your finger, push it away. It's gonna blend these colors and it's gonna look like a real northern light. So it's gonna look really, really cool. So you have to take your finger and you blend away from you. Now I'm gonna take the stencil again and I'm gonna put it right here and I'm gonna do, well, I haven't done a lot of cool colors, so I'm gonna choose some cool analogous colors now. I decided for my next Northern Lights, I'm gonna use blue, purple, and green. You can reuse colors too. You don't have to use all of them, just use the ones that you like that are analogous on the color wheel. I'm gonna take my blue and with one hand, hold the stencil with the other, do lines going off the page. These Northern Lights can be as long or as short as you want them to be. Be creative. I'm gonna put some green on this side, and then I'm gonna put the purple on the other side. So remember, I'm holding the stencil and then taking the chalk and drawing lines off it. So you should see one really hard line here. Then take your finger, this is the fun part, swish it off away from you. So you're swishing it off right into the sky. This is what's gonna make it look real. So now I have two Northern Lights and it looks really, really cool. So give it a try. You can always go back and blend a little bit more with your fingers and see what happens. But I want you to maybe fill up your sky with 2 or 3 different Aurora Borealises or Northern Lights the way that we've done them today. Some people ask me if they could do a moon. It's totally up to you whether you want to do a moon. I'm going to use the white crayon for my moon, and I'm going to make mine a little bit interesting by making it a crescent moon. So it doesn't have to be just a circle. Maybe you're taking the white crayon and drawing yourself a crescent moon to make it unique. So I'm going to take a look at my paper. I think I like it, so I'm going to move on to our final step for this project. On the middle table, you should see this paper that says My Masterpiece. We need to fill out this assessment for this project. Where it says artist, guess who that is? I hope you said you, so you need to write your name there. I'm using pen so you can see it on the camera, but please use pencil. I'm going to write Mr. Bofield because that's my name. The title, you get to come up with a name for your piece. I think I'm going to call this The Amazing Desert. So I went ahead and wrote The Amazing Desert. Does spelling count in this class? I hope you said no. I just want you to try your best and answer these questions the best way that you can. The next question says, while creating, I learned that. And notice that there's a ... That means that this is a sentence stem. So it doesn't mean that this answer needs to be a complete sentence. It just needs to end with a what? I hope you said period. I decided to write, while creating, I learned that I can create Northern Lights. And then I ended it with a, hope you said period. But it could be other things. It could be you learned about perspective and how things get lighter in the distance. It could be you learned how to make stars or draw a cactus or a pine tree. It's totally up to you what you decide to write here. The next one is super important too. This one says, it is a masterpiece because ... This is also a sentence stem. You need to answer this, but it does not need to be a complete sentence, but it needs to end with a period. I decided, I put, it is a masterpiece because I used analogous colors. Now you may not know how to spell that. You can ask a friend or you can just try it out. Remember, I'm not looking at spelling, but maybe it's something else that you're proud of. Maybe you really like your moon, your stars, your house, your desert, your tundra, your Aurora Borealis. It could be anything. I want you to find one thing that you really like and write it down here. Once you are done with that, you're going to take it, you're going to take the Elmer's glue, put 4 dots of glue, 1 in each corner. Boop, 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 boop. Ladybug dots, not glue monsters. Flip it over, and then hold it down for how many seconds on the back? I hope you said 10 seconds. Once you've done that, please raise your hand. I'll come check it. Once it's checked, you can put it on the drying rack. Then I want you to come see me so I can give you an iPad, but this needs to be done and I need to check it before I can give you the iPad. Alrighty guys, I hope you have an amazing day. I'm excited to see what these will look like when you are all done.